Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we'll be giving you guys who will defeat each champion for AEW. We haven't done this in quite some time for AEW, so it's about time we get it. We have some new champions, and we have some new picks as well as who we think is that next champion. But yeah, how are we feeling?
Yeah, we got 10 total titles in AEW. They did add a new national title since the last time we did one of these, I believe. There's even more titles in professional wrestling now. So I guess that makes this video a little bit better.
Yeah, and we also obviously have some new champions as of late, so it's kind of hard to predict exactly from those new winners. So yeah, let's kick things off in the Trios division, where we currently have Hangman Adam Page and Jet Speed just winning the Trios champions this past week on Dynamite. But who do you think will win them next?
So I went with a cheat code for this one because I went with Don Callis family. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know which trio gets it. I don't know which, three members does end up going after it, but I do think a member of the Don Callis family will be the Trios.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very safe pick, obviously, with the numbers advantage. With half the rosters there, it's definitely an easy shot. But I went with kind of an easy one, and probably one that's not likely to be the next one. But I did go with the Rascals, the newest signing of AEW. Obviously, we've seen the loss of Trey Miguel, who got dropped from AEW. But when you still have Desmond Xavier, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed, I think they're going to be used some way in AEW. And I think the Trios division fits them perfectly. Obviously, it's two face teams, so who knows how you get there. But I think eventually, by the end of the year, the Rascals will hold some Trios gold.
No.
Next up, though, let's go to another new belt, which was the Women's Tag Team Champions, currently held by the Babes of Wrath.
Yeah, so for this one, it was a little bit tough because it's not really like a solidified tag team, really. Like there's kind of meshed together teams and things of that nature. But the team that I ended up going with is Marina Shafir and Penelope Ford. Now, you might would have thought I went with Megan Bayne, but I do have her somewhere else a little bit later on.
Yeah, I also have Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. I just feel like they are the next big heel tag team in the women's division. Obviously, you can go Sisters of Sin, but I think this is a team who I don't think Marina will hold any singles gold anytime soon, but I think Megan can go into that singles division. We kind of seen the teases here, but I do think this is a good tag team to be your next women's tag team champions. But let's stick on the tag team division now, going to the men's side. We currently have FTR as your tag team champions, but who would defeat them?
Now, this one, I didn't really know who to pick because my initial pick probably would have just been Jet Speed. But when I thought about it more, Ed should be coming back relatively soon. So I did go with the team of Cope and Christian, or whatever that team is. I have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage winning the next tag team champions.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about them. It's kind of been a while since we've seen them too. So definitely that is probably the right pick. However, I went with another one that was Jurassic Express. They still are kind of new back to the tag team division. It feels like they had some momentum going in to the year, but with I think Luchasaurus taking some time out, it feels like that may have got stalled, but I do think eventually they'll hold the tag team belts. Whether the next ones we will see. Next up, let's go to another new champion, which was the national champion mentioned earlier. And your first champion was Ricochet, but who will be the second champion?
So I went with someone who just signed. You mentioned him just a little bit earlier, and that is Myron Reed. Now, I think, I didn't have him anywhere in the tag team division or trios division, but it was kind of mentioned in a report earlier this week that AEW specifically wanted him for Myron Reed. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that would maybe lead him to maybe win that national title. That way he could be the one to go kind of around the country and defend it, because he's already sort of used to that schedule and used to these promotions and the indies and all of that. Mm-hmm. And obviously Ricochet is to a certain degree, but he also been away from the indies for a long time as well. So I feel like someone like Myron Reed would be a lot more familiar. It would be a lot more kind of, I don't know, he's kind of fitting for the national title. I think Ricochet should kind of move up from that title and face a bigger one.
Yeah, I also had Myron Reed originally as my pick for the next national champion for the reasons you mentioned, just being more of an indie guy. But I went with a guy who can also be that, but in a different country, and that was Andrade. I think he's somebody, again, who recently signed as well, and I think he has some big goals and some big dreams in AEW once again now. So I think a national champion, he can go defend it in Mexico, he can come back to America and defend it in the indies here, while still being on TV and for AEW. And I think he's a great champion, he's a great wrestler. We've seen him last year, where the peaks he can go, and I think his peaks this year will be even higher than last year if given the time. I'm interested to see where this national champion leads us.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Andrade. I didn't put him anywhere on my list, but I probably would have had I remember that he was on AEW with all the confusion involving him.
But next up is the international champion, currently held by Kazuchika Okada, who brings down the Rainmaker.
feel like it's sort of an easy one. I did go with Takeshita. There's kind of a built-in feud already there, so why not let Takeshita take that title off of him eventually?
Yeah, I think Takeshita is probably the right pick. However, I went the different route, a guy who just came off the back of a World Championship match, but that is Bandito. We've seen the history between, I think we've seen a few matches between Bandito and Okada, but I think Bandito will hold some type of gold. It won't be the World Champion, I don't think, just yet, so I think an International Champion is something to kind of ease it into it while we keep building Bandito as a single star.
Yeah.
But let's go on, sticking in the singles division, going to the Continental Champion, where recently seen Jon Moxley win it.
So I feel like Jon Moxley, the whole thing has been someone to kind of be the heart of AEW and kind of stuff like that, to kind of put more effort in, But I think the person who has been doing that and should take the title is Bandito. I think Jon Moxley is definitely the type of person who would want to do something like that, to put over a Bandito, be the first one to kind of crown him as a champion on the main roster of AEW. So that'd be a cool moment to see for sure.
Yeah, for me, I kept it in the Death Riders, but this I went with Pac. He's been on a kind of a run as of late. Obviously, the matches with Darby Allin as of past few weeks, those matches have been great. I think there is a story to tell with them kind of starting to fight with each other. We've seen Mox kind of lean more towards a babyface while the rest of the group is still a heel. I could see Pac try to challenge for the rights of the leader, and the only way to do that now is by claiming the Continental Champion. So yeah, I think there is a good story to tell with Pac being in that realm. But yeah, who knows where this Continental Championship reign will go for Jon Moxley.
Yeah, no telling.
But next up is the TNT champion.
Yeah, so for this one, obviously Mark Briscoe has that right now. I have Brody King taking him down. Obviously I have Bandito winning that title, Brody King winning this one. They both have titles kind of connected to them, and that'd be really cool to see them go from tag team champions to both going into the singles division and both picking up singles gold as well.
Yeah, this is the one that I did really struggle with, just because Mark Briscoe has been gone, I felt like, for a few weeks now. We haven't really got a feud for him to build off of. He's been feuding with the Don Callis family, obviously, but I feel like that won't be your next champion. I went a different route. I went, again, with somebody in the conglomeration. This time, Orange Cassidy. Not necessarily a heel turn, but I do think that eventually, with how many people and how many of the mid-card guys there are in conglomeration, I think once you have to run a babyface versus babyface feud, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, two big fan bases, and I think that could be a really fun match.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's go to the TBS champion now, which was recently won by Willow Nightingale on the New Year's Eve of 2025.
So I don't think she'll lose her title anytime soon, and this was a hard one to pick, kind of, because I feel like a lot of people in the women's division right now are kind of doing things, like they kind of have storylines that they're at least starting or trying or whatever the case is. So for her, I did go with something sort of out of the blue, because we do see this person going after Chris Statlander at the moment, but I do have Thekla being the one to defeat Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, that is also who I have as well. She feels like you said, she does seem like to be going after the world champion, but I think Chris Statlander will put it into that kind of hopes for her for right now, but I do think she can bounce back off of that with a win over Willow, getting the TBS champion. Because yeah, I feel like Willow will hold this belt for a little bit longer than the last reign, but I can also see it in it kind of quick to get to a new champion as well.
No.
But let's go into some of the big champions now, and that is our women's world champion up next, currently held by Chris Statlander.
So obviously earlier in the tag team women's division, I put Marina Shafir and Penelope Ford rather than Megan Bayne, and that is because I have Megan Bayne listed here with Chris Statlander. I feel like that is the big match for Chris Statlander. That's the one that people probably are leaning more towards what they want to see. She's already won against the Willows, and she's won against the Mercedes and the Tonys and all of that. So I think Megan Bayne should be the next person to win that women's world title.
Yeah, I also went with Megan Bayne. She is somebody who can, with the looks of it, kind of match up with a Chris Statlander. She has the build, she has the look, she's been improving in ring, and yeah, I think she's somebody that AEW should kind of lock down and kind of say, hey, this is going to be one of our women that we want to show as one of the next class. And I think this year she has championship gold somewhere around her waist. I don't know what that will be. Hopefully it is the world champion. But yeah, Megan Bayne's in for a great year. But now to finish it off, let's go to the men's side. Who will be the next men's world champion? By doing that, they must defeat MJF.
So this is a hard one. We just had a big segment where we seen Hangman Adam Page say that he's going after him. Swerve said he's going after him. Kenny says he's going after him. And then there's Ospreay right around the corner. In coming months, I would assume he will be back. But I did end up going with Swerve Strickland. I feel like Swerve versus Ospreay is the big all-in match. And that's sort of why I went with Swerve, to lead more towards that.
Yeah, for me, I went with a different route, and I went with another guy who was in that segment with Swerve Strickland, but I did go with Kenny Omega. I think he is here to win some gold, and I think that will be the world champion. Who knows how many attempts it might take? Will it be the first try, second try, third try? Who knows? but I do think Kenny Omega will get the championship back and restore the feeling back in AEW. Yeah, it's been a while we haven't seen Kenny with singles gold, or at least the world champion, at least I should say. But I do think when he gets it back, things will turn around again. You have a match with Swerve Strickland that we haven't seen yet, a match with Ospreay to return to that. When he comes back, I think will be great. There's a lot of things you can do with Kenny, obviously being one of the best wrestlers. Who knows what you can get from a world championship run.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really good time in AEW right now. The champions are kind of fresh right now. We've got a lot of new crownings in the last couple months, and now there's new people being built up, such as Bandito. Brody King just made his kind of singles re-debut recently and kind of getting back into action more in the singles division, so that's exciting. We should see Takeshita coming back in recent time, I guess. He's been away, not really away, but just hasn't been in ring necessarily. So yeah, it's been a lot to do for that, and then the G1's coming up, so we'll probably see some sort of qualifiers. Maybe we'll see some AEW people head towards New Japan. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting things in AEW at the current time.
But that was our picks. Let us know your picks down in the comments on who will be the next world champions for the men and women down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.